Listen carefully. Some people will always be more talented than you. They will learn faster, run faster, speak better, think quicker. You cannot control that. But here is what should wake you up. Talent has defeated more people than failure ever has. Because talent creates comfort, and comfort creates weakness. The person who believes talent is enough eventually stops growing. The person who knows he must earn everything never stops improving. That is why ordinary people sometimes achieve extraordinary things. Not because they were born different, because they refuse to quit. Right now, somewhere in the world, someone with half your ability is building a better future than you. Not because they are lucky, because while you are waiting to feel ready, they are already working. While you are planning, they are executing. While you are doubting yourself, they are collecting another hour of practice. That is the difference. Most people spend years wishing they had more talent. Very few spend years becoming more disciplined. And discipline almost always wins in the long run. Think about the habits that shape your day. Do you wake up with purpose, or do you wake up and immediately surrender your attention to your phone? Do you finish what you start? Or do you quit the moment something becomes uncomfortable? These moments seem small, but they quietly decide your future. Marcus Aurelius understood something powerful. You cannot control the gifts life gives other people, but you can control the effort you give every single day. That is where your power lives. Not in comparison, not in envy, not in wishing for different circumstances. In action. The modern world celebrates natural talent. Social media shows you finished results. It rarely shows you the years of invisible work, the early mornings, the lonely evenings, the repeated failures, the countless moments when someone chose discipline instead of comfort. Success looks effortless only after the work is finished. While it is being built, it is anything but easy. That is why most people never reach their potential. They admire results, but avoid the process. They want confidence without facing fear. They want strength without resistance. They want success without sacrifice. Life does not work that way. Everything valuable demands something from you. Your body demands consistency. Your mind demands focus. Your future demands patience. There are days when you will feel unstoppable. Work anyway. There are days when you will feel exhausted. Work anyway. There are days when nobody believes in you. Work anyway. Because winners are not separated by how they feel. They are separated by what they do, despite how they feel. Every excuse sounds reasonable in the moment. I'll start tomorrow. I don't have enough time. I'm not naturally gifted. Someone else has a better opportunity. Those excuses may comfort you today, but they will not comfort you 10 years from now. One day you will look at your life and realize that talent was never the thing holding you back. Fear was, comfort was, inconsistency was, waiting was. You do not need to become the most talented person in the room. You need to become the most disciplined. The person who keeps showing up. The person who keeps learning. The person who keeps improving after everyone else has stopped. That person becomes impossible to ignore. Because discipline compounds. One workout becomes a stronger body. One page becomes a finished book. 1 hour becomes a mastered skill. One promise kept becomes self-respect. Then another and another. Until one day people call you talented. They never saw the thousands of ordinary choices that created the result. Do not waste another year wishing for gifts you were never given. Use the ones you already have. Your attention, your effort, your courage, your ability to begin again. Those are enough. Because in the end, talent may open a door, but discipline decides who stays in the room. If you truly want to win, stop asking whether you are talented enough. Start asking whether you are willing to outwork the version of yourself that keeps choosing comfort. That answer will shape the rest of your life. Most people spend their entire lives chasing something they believe they are missing. They think the answer is more intelligence, more connections, more money, more luck, more talent. But they rarely stop and ask themselves a different question. What if I already have enough? What if the real problem isn't what I lack, but what I refuse to use?
Think about how many dreams have been buried by hesitation, not because they were impossible, because someone waited too long. They waited until they felt confident.
They waited until they had the perfect plan. They waited until fear disappeared. They waited until life became easier. That day never came. It never will. Life does not reward waiting. Life rewards movement. Every day you delay taking action, someone with less ability but more discipline moves one step ahead. At first you don't notice it. The difference seems small. One workout, one page read, one skill practiced, one uncomfortable conversation, 1 hour of focused work. None of these look extraordinary, but time has a way of multiplying ordinary choices. A single drop of water seems powerless, yet over time it can carve through solid stone. Discipline works the same way. It does not demand dramatic effort. It demands repeated effort. That is why consistency is so rare. People love intensity. They love dramatic beginnings. They announce new goals. They buy new equipment. They make big promises. They imagine a completely different future. Then reality arrives. The excitement fades. The mornings become difficult. The progress becomes invisible. Suddenly, the dream no longer feels exciting. It feels like work. And that is where most people disappear. They confuse the loss of excitement with the loss of purpose. But purpose has never depended on excitement. Purpose depends on commitment. Marcus Aurelius understood this better than most. He did not wake up every morning feeling inspired. There were days filled with war, days filled with sickness, days filled with betrayal, days when carrying the weight of an empire must have felt unbearable. Yet he still rose. He still fulfilled his duty. He still reminded himself that his feelings did not determine his responsibilities. That lesson matters just as much today. You do not need to feel motivated to become disciplined. You need to decide that your standards matter more than your emotions. Imagine two people standing at the bottom of the same mountain. One is naturally gifted. Everything comes easily. The other struggles with every step. The first person believes talent will carry him. The second believes only effort will. Years later, who is still climbing? Often, it is the one who learned to love the climb itself, because talent without discipline creates complacency. Discipline without talent creates growth. Growth eventually becomes excellence. The world notices excellence. It rarely notices the thousands of invisible hours that created it. That is why you must stop looking for recognition too early. The seed buried beneath the soil receives no applause. No one celebrates it. No one even sees it. Yet every day something is happening. Roots are growing. Strength is forming. Preparation is taking place beneath the surface. Your life is no different. There will be seasons when nobody notices your effort. Keep going.
There will be seasons when your progress feels painfully slow. Keep going. There will be seasons when people laugh at your goals. Keep going, because discipline is not built when life is easy.
It is built when continuing feels difficult. There is another lie that destroys potential. The belief that you must be extraordinary to begin. You don't. You simply need to begin. Every expert was once inexperienced. Every leader was once uncertain. Every successful person was once unknown. They did not start because they were ready. They became ready because they started. Your first attempt will probably be imperfect. Good. Perfection is not the goal. Progress is. Every mistake teaches something. Every failure reveals something. Every setback strengthens something. Only if you continue. Failure is rarely the opposite of success. Quitting is. The person who refuses to quit gives themselves unlimited chances to improve. That is an advantage talent alone can never provide. Think about your own habits. How often do you stop because results are taking too long? How often do you compare your beginning to someone else's 10th year? Comparison steals momentum. Patience builds it. Your only competition should be the version of yourself that existed yesterday. Did you become a little stronger, a little wiser, a little more disciplined? That is enough. 1% every day seems insignificant until months pass, then years. Eventually, the person you used to be becomes unrecognizable. That transformation never happens overnight. It happens quietly. One promise kept, one excuse rejected, one distraction ignored, one difficult decision made again and again. People often ask what success feels like. They imagine fireworks, celebration, a single life-changing moment. But success usually feels much simpler. It feels like waking up and doing what needs to be done. Again and again and again, until discipline becomes your identity, until hard work no longer feels unusual, until showing up becomes automatic. That is the point where you become dangerous. Not to other people, to your old limitations. Because the version of you that always quit can no longer survive inside someone who refuses to stop. Most people are defeated long before life ever defeats them. They surrender inside their own minds. They decide they are not good enough, not smart enough, not talented enough, not lucky enough. Those beliefs become invisible chains. But chains are broken one decision at a time. The decision to try again. The decision to keep learning. The decision to stop making excuses. The decision to become responsible for your own future. No one else can make those decisions for you. Not your family. Not your friends. Not your mentor. Not your favorite motivational speaker. The responsibility is yours. And although that sounds heavy, it is actually freeing. Because if your future depends on your daily choices, then your future can begin changing today. Not next year, not when circumstances improve. Today, this very hour. You do not need more talent. You need more consistency. You do not need perfect conditions. You need stronger habits. You do not need everyone to believe in you. You need to become someone who believes in the promises you make to yourself. That is real confidence. Not believing you will never fail. Believing you will never stop trying. Because talent may help you start faster, but discipline ensures you finish stronger. And in the end, the finish line does not ask who was the most gifted. It only remembers who refused to give up. There is a quiet advantage that disciplined people have. Most people never notice it because it cannot be seen. It is built in silence. While everyone else is sleeping, they are working. While everyone else is complaining, they are improving. While everyone else is waiting for life to become fair, they are becoming stronger. That is why discipline always looks ordinary in the beginning and extraordinary in the end. People see the finished result. They never see the invisible years that made it possible. They say, "You were lucky. You have natural talent. You were born for this." What they never saw were the mornings when you wanted to stay in bed but got up anyway. The evenings when nobody was watching, yet you still kept your promise to yourself. The weekends when you chose growth instead of comfort. The thousands of moments when quitting would have been easier. That is where winners are created. Not on the stage, not in front of cameras, but in ordinary moments when nobody is there to applaud. Marcus Aurelius understood this deeply. He knew that the quality of your character is determined by what you do when no one is watching. Anyone can appear disciplined in public. Anyone can look motivated for a few days. But what happens when you are alone? Do you still honor your standards? Do you still keep your word? Do you still do the work? That is where your real identity is revealed. The world has become obsessed with appearance. Looking successful, looking productive, looking confident. But looking and being are two different things. You can post motivational quotes every day and still avoid the work. You can talk endlessly about your dreams and never take action. You can convince everyone else that you are changing while secretly remaining exactly the same. Your habits know the truth. Every morning, your habits vote for the person you are becoming. Every decision casts another vote. When you choose discipline, you vote for strength. When you choose comfort, you vote for weakness. Neither choice seems important in the moment, but together they become your future. Imagine two men. One spends 1 hour every day improving himself. The other spends 1 hour every day making excuses. 1 year later, their lives begin to separate. 5 years later, they barely recognize each other. 10 years later, people call one successful. They call the other unlucky, yet luck had very little to do with it. Daily choices created the difference. That is why you should never underestimate small actions. A single page read every day becomes dozens of books. A single workout every day transforms your body. A single hour of focused practice develops valuable skills. One difficult conversation strengthens your confidence. One promise kept strengthens your self-respect. None of these feel life-changing until enough time passes. Then everything changes. This is something modern life makes easy to forget. We expect immediate results. Fast food, instant entertainment, one-click shopping. Everything arrives quickly. So when personal growth takes time, people assume something is wrong. Nothing is wrong. Growth has always been slow. The oak tree does not apologize for growing one ring at a time. The mountain does not become tall overnight. The strongest rivers carve valleys through patience, not speed. Nature never rushes, yet it accomplishes extraordinary things. Why should your life be different? Stop rushing your transformation instead. Protect it, feed it, stay committed to it. Because every meaningful change requires repetition. There is another reason talent often loses. Talent can make you arrogant. It whispers, "You don't need to work today. You're already good enough. You'll catch up later." Those thoughts feel harmless until months pass, then years. Eventually, someone with less natural ability but greater discipline quietly passes you. Not because they were gifted, because they refused to stop growing. Humility is one of the greatest advantages you can have. The humble person never believes they have arrived. They remain curious. They remain teachable. They remain willing to improve. That mindset creates endless growth. The proud person protects their image. The humble person builds their future. Choose carefully which one you become. There will always be someone more talented than you. Accept it. There will always be someone richer than you. Accept it. There will always be someone younger than you. Accept it. There will always be someone who started earlier. Accept it. None of those facts determine your destiny. Your response does. Marcus Aurelius never wasted time wishing reality were different. He accepted reality. Then asked, "What is the best thing I can do now?" Imagine how much stronger your life would become if you asked yourself that question every day. Not "why is this happening?" but "what can I do now?" Not "who is to blame?" but "what responsibility can I take?" Not "when will things become easier?" but "how can I become stronger?" Those questions transform ordinary people because they shift your attention away from problems and toward action. Action creates momentum, creates confidence. Confidence creates courage, and courage creates a completely different life. You do not become fearless before taking action. You become less fearful because you keep taking action. Every difficult step teaches your mind something important. You survived. You adapted. You grew. That lesson cannot be learned through thinking alone. It must be lived. Many people confuse planning with progress. Planning matters, but endless planning becomes another form of procrastination. At some point, you must begin. You must risk failure. You must accept mistakes, because experience teaches lessons that books never can. The strongest people are not those who avoid failure. They are the ones who recover quickly. Every setback becomes information. Every mistake becomes instruction. Every disappointment becomes fuel. Nothing is wasted. Everything is used. That is the mindset of someone who eventually succeeds. Not because they never lose, because they never stop learning. And perhaps that is the greatest secret of all. Winning without talent is not about proving other people wrong. It is about proving to yourself that discipline can carry you further than excuses ever will. One disciplined day seems ordinary. A disciplined week feels encouraging. A disciplined month builds momentum. A disciplined year changes your identity. A disciplined decade changes your legacy. So stop asking whether you have enough talent. Ask whether you have enough courage to keep showing up. Because history is filled with talented people who disappeared. It is also filled with ordinary people whose relentless discipline made them extraordinary. Decide which story you want your life to tell. Then wake up tomorrow and earn it. Most people think success is a single moment, the promotion, the business finally becoming profitable, the dream house, the recognition, the applause. But they are looking at the last page of the story. They never read the chapters that came before it. They never see the mornings when the alarm rang and you wanted to stay in bed. They never see the evenings when your body was exhausted, but you decided to continue anyway. They never see the sacrifices, the missed parties, the lonely weekends, the failures that nobody applauded, the doubts that nobody knew about. That is where success is really built, not in victory, in preparation. Marcus Aurelius once reminded himself that every day gives you a choice. You can either become a little stronger or a little weaker. There is no standing still. Life is always moving. The question is only this: which direction are you moving? Most people believe that wasting one day is harmless. It is only today. I will start tomorrow. I deserve a break. Those words sound innocent, but repeated often enough, they become your identity. One lazy day becomes a lazy week. One lazy week becomes a lazy month. One lazy month becomes another year that quietly disappears. Then one morning you wake up. You look in the mirror. You realize your dreams have not changed, but you have. Your confidence is lower. Your energy is weaker. Your discipline has disappeared. Not because one terrible event happened, because thousands of small moments slowly pulled you away from the person you wanted to become. This is why your daily routine matters more than your occasional motivation. Motivation is emotional. Routine is dependable. Feelings change. Standards should not. Imagine a builder constructing a house. He does not build the roof first. He lays one brick, then another, then another. Some days the progress is almost invisible, but he keeps laying bricks. Months later, there is a house where there was once empty land. Your future is built exactly the same way. Every disciplined decision is another brick. Every excuse removes one. Every promise you keep strengthens the foundation. Every promise you break creates another crack. The house you live in tomorrow is being built by the choices you make today. There is another mistake people make. They believe discipline must always feel difficult. That is not true. In the beginning, discipline feels like effort. Eventually, it becomes identity. Think about brushing your teeth. You do not wake up every morning debating whether you should do it. You simply do it. Why? Because it has become part of who you are. Imagine if discipline became just as automatic. Imagine waking up and exercising without negotiation, reading without resistance, working without endless procrastination, keeping your promises without excuses. That is possible. Not because disciplined people are different, because they repeated the behavior until it became normal. This is why you must stop relying on emotion. Your emotions are temporary visitors. Some mornings they bring confidence. Other mornings they bring doubt. Some days they bring excitement. Other days they bring exhaustion. If your actions always follow your emotions, your life will never become stable. The Stoics understood this. Your emotions deserve acknowledgement. They do not deserve control. You can feel tired and still work. You can feel afraid and still move forward. You can feel uncertain and still take the next step. That is courage. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is refusing to let fear become your leader. The modern world teaches you to chase comfort. Everything is becoming easier. Food arrives at your door. Entertainment is available every second. Artificial intelligence answers questions instantly. Everything is designed to remove effort. Convenience is useful, but there is a danger. The more comfortable your life becomes, the weaker your tolerance for discomfort can become. Then something difficult happens. A setback, a rejection, a failure, a difficult conversation. Instead of facing it, you escape into entertainment, into scrolling, into excuses, into anything that removes discomfort for a few moments. But temporary comfort often creates permanent regret. Marcus Aurelius believed obstacles could become opportunities, not because he enjoyed hardship, because hardship revealed character. Pressure reveals what comfort hides. When life becomes difficult, you discover who you really are. Do you complain or adapt? Do you blame or take responsibility? Do you stop or continue? Your answers shape your destiny. There is a reason disciplined people become so resilient. They practice discomfort on purpose. They wake up when they do not feel like it. They exercise when it would be easier not to. They study when others relax. They keep working when nobody is watching. They are teaching themselves something far more valuable than skill. They are teaching themselves that comfort does not control them. That lesson changes everything. Because once you stop fearing discomfort, very little can stop you. Failure no longer scares you. Criticism no longer controls you. Delay no longer frustrates you. You understand that every worthwhile goal demands patience, and patience is becoming increasingly rare. Everyone wants results now. Very few are willing to become the person capable of achieving those results. Remember this: the world rewards finished products. Life rewards disciplined processes. Focus on the process. Protect the process. Fall in love with the process. The results will eventually follow. One day, people will ask you how you became so disciplined, how you became so confident, how you became so successful. They will think you discovered some secret, but there was never a secret. Only ordinary choices repeated for an extraordinary length of time. One more workout, one more chapter, one more hour of focused work, one more difficult conversation, one more promise kept. Again and again and again, until the person you used to be no longer exists. That is how you win without talent. Not by hoping life becomes easier, but by becoming stronger than the challenges life places in front of you. There is one question you should ask yourself today. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. If everything you have done over the last 12 months became the blueprint for the next 10 years, would you be proud of where your life is going? Take a moment. Answer honestly. Because honesty is where transformation begins. Most people avoid this question, not because it is difficult, because it exposes the truth that you already know. You know when you are wasting time. You know when you are making excuses. You know when you are choosing comfort over growth. No one has to tell you. Your conscience already has. The problem is that modern life makes it easy to ignore that voice. The moment discomfort appears, you reach for your phone. The moment boredom arrives, you open another app. The moment self-doubt enters your mind, you distract yourself with entertainment, hour after hour, day after day. Without realizing it, you slowly become addicted to escape. That is one of the greatest enemies of discipline, not failure. Escape. Because failure teaches you. Escape teaches you nothing. Every time you avoid the work, your future waits. Every time you avoid responsibility, your potential waits. Every time you choose temporary comfort, your dreams wait. Eventually, they stop waiting. There is something powerful about a person who stops running from discomfort. Think about the people you admire. The strongest leaders, the greatest athletes, the most successful entrepreneurs, the people with remarkable character. Do you think their lives were easier than yours? No. In many cases, they were harder. The difference is that they developed a relationship with discomfort that most people never do. They stopped seeing discomfort as punishment. They started seeing it as training. Imagine two people walking into a cold morning. One complains, the other smiles. The weather is the same. The difference is perspective. Life works like that. Every obstacle carries two possibilities. One person sees a reason to quit. Another sees an opportunity to grow. Which person are you becoming? Marcus Aurelius understood that your perception shapes your experience. If you see every challenge as unfair, life becomes heavy. If you see every challenge as preparation, life becomes meaningful. That single shift changes everything. The obstacle becomes the teacher. The failure becomes the lesson. The rejection becomes the redirection. Nothing is wasted anymore. Everything becomes useful. That is how mentally strong people think. There is another mistake that quietly destroys potential. Looking for shortcuts. People ask, what's the fastest way? What's the easiest method? What's the secret? But there is no shortcut to becoming someone different. Character cannot be downloaded. Discipline cannot be purchased. Confidence cannot be borrowed. These things are earned, slowly, patiently, repeatedly. The world loves quick success stories. It rarely celebrates the years of invisible work that created them. Do not be fooled by appearances. The oak tree that stands through every storm was once a small seed buried in darkness. It did not become strong because life was easy. It became strong because it survived every season. You are no different. Every difficult season is strengthening roots that other people cannot see. Trust the process, not because it is comfortable, because it is changing you. Think about your younger self, the person you were 5 years ago. Would that version of you recognize who you are today? Hopefully, you have become wiser, more patient, more resilient, more disciplined. Now imagine the version of yourself that exists 5 years from today. What would that person thank you for? Would they thank you for another year of excuses, another year of procrastination, another year of waiting? Or would they thank you for beginning today? Everything changes the moment you realize that your future self is watching every decision you make. Every excuse steals something from that future. Every disciplined action gives something back. This is why personal responsibility is so powerful. The moment you stop blaming talent, you regain control. The moment you stop blaming luck, you regain power. The moment you stop blaming circumstances, you become free. Freedom begins when excuses end. There will always be reasons not to begin. You are too busy, too tired, too old, too young, too inexperienced, too afraid. There will always be another excuse waiting for you. The question is simple. How many more years are you willing to give them? Imagine waking up 1 year from now. Nothing has changed. Your goals remain unfinished. Your habits remain weak. Your confidence remains low. How would that feel? Now imagine another possibility. Imagine waking up 1 year from now, knowing you never missed a workout without a reason, knowing you read every day, knowing you kept your promises, knowing you became someone your past self would admire. That future is possible, not because you suddenly become talented, because you become consistent. Consistency is ordinary until enough time passes. Then it becomes extraordinary. Many people want extraordinary lives. Very few are willing to live ordinary, disciplined days. That is the price, and it is worth paying. Because discipline gives you something talent never can. Self-respect. There is no feeling quite like looking in the mirror and knowing you kept your word. No applause can replace that. No compliment can match that. No amount of money can buy that. It is earned every single day, one promise at a time. When you keep your word to yourself, something changes inside you. You begin trusting yourself. You stop doubting your ability. You stop negotiating with your excuses. You stop fearing difficult work because you have evidence. Evidence built through action. That evidence becomes confidence, not empty confidence. The kind that cannot be taken away by criticism. The kind that survives failure. The kind that remains steady during difficult seasons. Remember this. Talent may get someone noticed. Discipline makes someone unforgettable. Talent may create opportunity. Discipline keeps the opportunity alive. Talent may win once. Discipline wins repeatedly. So stop wishing for gifts that belong to someone else. Use the gifts already in your hands. Your time, your attention, your effort, your courage, your willingness to begin again after every setback. Those gifts are enough, more than enough. History has never belonged only to the most talented. It belongs to those who refused to surrender. Those who kept walking when others stopped. Those who kept learning when others became comfortable. Those who kept believing when others accepted defeat. That can be your story too. But only if you decide, not tomorrow, not after one more video, not after one more excuse. Today, because every sunrise offers the same question. Will you become stronger or will you become more comfortable? Choose wisely. Your future is listening.